Hello and welcome to Inside Leominster. My name is Dean Massarell. I'm the mayor for the city of Leominster, and we do our show. If you're just watching sort of for the updates, just to let you know, every Thursday night we do our show from 6:30 to 7:30. Hey, we may actually change that up a little, but we've been moving it up to 4 o'clock with our regular updates. So what do we do here? Well, we get together for an hour. We usually talk about the things that are important to you. And we always start the show off by going all the way to the tippity-tip of North Leominster, where it meets Lunenburg, and we get the Art Report.
Good evening, sir.
Well, hello there, Mr. Art.
I was just thinking, I grew up on the furthest end of Route 12.
Yeah, I always think of that. And now you're on the other end.
Exactly, 50 feet from the line.
So now you need
now
to
I'm
move.
50 feet, no, tenth of a mile maybe from Lunenburg. And the north side of town. Crazy.
So now you need to hit the south side, and you'll be all set. You'll complete the triangle.
I know one thing. The more and more outside work gets harder and harder, but it doesn't seem to bother me on the golf course.
Well,
I don't want to say that too loud.
Did you hear my question last week on Monday?
No.
I said, do you have to, in order to play golf, do you have to smoke a cigar?
Oh. No, I quit smoking, probably 30 years ago, 35 years ago.
But I went by a golf course the other day, and everybody that was golfing had a cigar.
They must have had a demo going on. They were handing them out.
I don't know. I said, geez.
Have you heard anything about the Sunoco on 13 rebuilding or anything? Nothing.
We haven't heard a word from them.
Wow. That's strange. You know who's driving me crazy now, but it's good marketing, I guess, but Foxwoods. They don't want to lose it. They want their money back. And every day I get something from them. Every day.
They want your baby back.
Yeah, well, see, we were there maybe 2 weeks before they shut everybody down.
Yeah.
And I had the most bizarre round of play I've ever had. And that particular way it happened, we got there with my sister and Rita and me, and I went right over to the Hampton room, into the high-end room, and went right over to my $5 machine, and I was waiting for them. See, they walk, and then they stop to talk. They walk, they stop to talk. I go there to play. But I was waiting for Rita to kick in her usual $40 because I was told her I'll split with you if I hit. Well, now they come around the corner, and I put my 20 in. I said, to hell with it, I'm going to hit the button now, and she can pay me later. 3 red sevens on a $5.
Come on.
Oh, I looked, and I went, oh, my God. So I cashed it out immediately.
I would have been back to Leominster so fast.
Well, listen to this. So I said, you know what, Rita, give me a 20. I just got a funny feeling that this is going to be a strange day. I put the 20 in, I hit the button, I hit it for 120.
Wow.
I cash it right out. In fact, I give her she goes to cash it out because about 20 feet away is a machine. I'm going to try it one more time. Don't it come up again, 120?
Oh, the heck.
I stopped right there. That was it. That brought it home.
I would have went to the restaurant, got something to eat. That would have been the end of that.
No, I'll tell you. And then the Foxwoods have been, like I said, they've been sending me all kinds of stuff. We were thinking about you during the virus.
Of course they were. They were really worried about you. They were
yesterday.
They were worried about your wallet.
Yeah. Yesterday I get a note from them. Lake of Isles Golf. I went, oh, my God, they're comping me Lake of Isles again.
Wow.
I said, I got to click on that. All they were telling me was that if I wanted to play, they'll book me a tee time for $180 a round.
That's very generous of them.
Yeah. I'll tell you, you can't win. And the fig tree is in full bloom.
Oh, good. This is very important.
I want you to know, maybe 2 hours ago, I'm sitting out on the deck watching my sprinkler make the lawn greener than it is, and I says to Rita, look at every leaf and every bloom is full force now on your fig tree. She says, no, that's not my fig tree. That's Dean's fig tree.
There you go. See? This is important. Now, talk about relevance and the order of importance. We need a fig tree report every Thursday night from now on.
We're going to have to do that.
Maybe Carl can find us a song to play.
I'll give you plant temperature checks.
That's right. This is very important.
That's right. Having said that, I hope everybody's healthy. We have a dear friend that is fighting the virus on a ventilator. It's not, and we're just hoping. But we'll see.
Yes.
We'll see.
They still save people,
Nasty stuff.
even on a ventilator.
Yep.
Don't give
And
up hope.
one more thing. I just before you come on,
Yes.
I thought I'd take one more sip of my coffee. Mistake. Evidently, those them little cups you make 1 cup of coffee, it must have sprung a leak because I took a mouthful of coffee ground.
Oh, yeah.
That's a lot of fun.
That's better than my spring water when there was a one of those, what do they call them, stink bunks in there.
Yeah.
Got into my little can of water at night, took a little swig, noticed a little something crunchy in there.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, with this coffee ground, that's worse than looking for a staple in an order of Chinese takeout.
It's a phobia. That's a phobia, but I'm not the only one.
No. Every time I open the bag, I count how many are on it.
That's it.
And how many are standing on the side.
There you go.
I know I got them all.
That's it. You don't want to be up the emergency room trying to...
No. Nay. Having said that, good luck to everybody, and hi to Mom and your brothers and everybody else.
Good day.
Bye-bye.
All right. Like in Willy Wonka, when Gene Wilder says, he's yelling at the grandfather, and he says, good day. And that's it. Okay, we're going to have Jim LeBlanc, the director at the Emergency Management, on. And we won't even take a commercial. We'll get Jim on. He can sneak behind the curtain here like the wizard. We'll hook him up because we have lots to talk about. We also have Rich Voltor, the senior and most prestigious Veterans Director in not only New England, but probably the country, fighting for his and our veterans every day of the week with his staff and team at our Veteran Service Office. I will tell you, as we sneak Jim in, try not to be disruptive, Jim. What do you got there, banana split for me? How'd you know I want to? Oh, it's a mask. So when this is all over, I'm going to petition to have the following words removed from dictionary and from all print. Can't talk yet? Why? Oh, he's not on. I can talk, though. No? Maybe Jim. Anyway, they told me not to talk. How dangerous is it? Okay, so here are the following words that once this virus is over, Jim, I'm going to block my ears every time I hear it. COVID-19. Eliminating that.
Sounds like a plan.
Second word, coronavirus. Third word, in the abundance of caution. Gone. Don't want to hear it again.
I couldn't agree with you more.
Mask. Don't want to hear it again. Don't want anybody else telling me wash my hands. I already know that. I'm germaphobe, right? I'm always washing my hands.
Oh yeah, you are.
Hand sanitizer. Got that. Part of my daily life is hand sanitizer. And I can think of a few more words that I will not use. Anyway, just before we get to Jim, who's kind enough to come on, let me read the state cases numbers today. Total cases are just over 90,000. That's up 1114. And Worcester County is up 217 at almost 10,000. How ironic. So it's 100 to almost 100,000, so it's at 90,000. And then Worcester County's at 10,000. Total deaths in Massachusetts are, total tested is at 500,000, with 11,533 being tested in the last 24 hours, and deaths today up 82. But the good news, if there's any good news out of the fact that there are deaths, and that's not good news, but certainly there are less of them. Now, if you're a family that lost someone, that's not a good thing. But again, we really want to see this go the other way, and so total deaths at 6,148. So we surpassed 6,000 yesterday, and we're up 82 in the entire state. So that's fingers crossed, and let's watch that. And the more testing we have, obviously, the numbers of those total cases are going to go up. But at some point, even that's going to level up.
Should start to level.
Right, 3% on the on hospitalization, and I think under 10% of those that are tested test positive. So those are the numbers of the 4 or 5 indicators that we want to see drop down. Anyway, Jim, we're gonna have a call from Rick Voltor a little later, but wanted to say hello and
Oh, by the way, Rick Voteur's car is awesome.
Yeah, it came out nice, huh?
Oh, what a great job.
I told him no burnouts.
Oh, no.
Burning up to quarter mile.
I tell you, it came out awesome.
It looks good. A true representation of the work they do and our local veterans.
Yeah.
And so, how are things going? I mean, we're in a tweaking phase, I guess, right now.
Finally, it's starting to slow down a bit. As you know, we've been working communication 8 to 8 for 7 days a week. We dropped it back 8 to 6. And for the first weekend in 10 weeks,
wow,
we're going to knock off this weekend to give it, which matches up what MEMA's doing.
Right. And it's consistent with the things that were coming up. People didn't know. You get mixed messages.
Yeah.
Wear a mask. You don't have to wear a mask. 3 feet, 6 feet. Gets very confusing. Where do I get help for this? And it became a great resource. And oftentimes those in the business will see our emergency management center, our emergency operations center, and just they're amazed.
They're totally amazed.
And then others think, well, what do you use this for? Well, trust me, the place gets used. And we've done a couple live remotes from there as well.
Oh, yeah.
But it always gets used. So what are the kinds of things that are driving your time now as we finish out week 10?
Right now, it's been the distribution of masks. We're up to close to 30,000 masks distributed.
I had the donor here today, and he couldn't believe it. He said, we want to franchise this.
It's amazing. Barbara LeBlanc's done a great job being out there almost every day, pushing them. We still maintain the communication, so we're still dealing with people. The amount of, I think we went through 300 bottles of sanitizer in the last week and a half, 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been busy.
Yeah.
Very busy.
And then emergency management still helping out at Ginny's, still helping out.
Oh, yeah.
With
we're
delivering
pushing almost 1,100, 1,200 meals every other day.
Incredible. That's to go to students and and elderly, anybody that needs a lunch.
We do a separate run at the end of the day for Ginny's, which covers the elderly that can't get out.
Right.
Now tomorrow is going to be really big because we have to distribute it for 4 days.
Wow, you're going to need a shopping bag.
So we got 4 vehicles that'll be fully loaded on this run.
That's wild. Let's give the new numbers, Jim, local numbers. And remember, I don't know what they are, but the more we test, the more test positives we're going to get.
Yep.
Most important, though, is identifying those testing positive so we can sort of find that circle, right? So let's see. There we go. So Leominster is up 6 today, so 265. And also, this is the best part, up 15 on those that are coming off. So I always try to explain it because it's a standard across the country that they use. So total amount 532, and that's as of the first day in March that they started to keep track of the data. They started to compile it. So the total amount of people in Leominster that have ever had it is 532. Those that are still on the active list are 265 right now, and those that are off, in other words, they might have been on it 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, 5 weeks ago, they tested positive. They're off, no side effects. And so that's what we call the sort of recovered list. So right now, for probably the first time, there are more recovered than there are on the list. And again, hopefully that's the trend, right?
Yeah, it is
I
the
do
trend.
worry a little bit this weekend about the fact that, at work, we can do all the things that, wherever you work, we can do all the right things. Factories, stores, all essential. You can do all the right things, but we can't control what happens when people leave work.
True.
And so we need for everybody to continue with those social distancing, wearing a mask, washing your hands, all of those basic things. And let's not forget them over the long Memorial Day weekend, or you're going to see these numbers sort of go up next week. Health Alliance has 32 COVID patients testing positive and 9 in the ICU. And that's our level at Health Alliance in Leominster. If you want to give us a buzz at 978-537-7777. You hear that, Art? Hear those numbers? 777-978-537-7760 and extension 3, and we'll put you in touch if you have a question. You don't want to ask it on air. Bradley and Keith are back there, and Keith has 4 photographic memories, and he'll remember who you are. He'll put the message out with giving your name or number, and we'll answer it for you right here inside Leominster. So overall, I mean, I think we responded well and proactive from the very beginning.
I would have to say, I talked to MEMA this morning, and they said this was Kevin. He says, Leominster reacted the fastest of anybody in the state. We were doing pandemic drills end of November, December, when everybody said, what are we doing this for? We were, within days, as soon as it hit, contacted every nursing home, made sure they had all the PPEs that they needed, and we delivered them.
We were sharing PPEs with the whole Northwester County.
Oh, we did Leominster Fire, Fitchburg Fire, Shirley, Sterling, Princeton.
You're coming from everywhere.
We came from everywhere. We were fortunate enough, we had one of our volunteers, their company stepped up and brought in $30,000 worth of PPEs.
Wow, that's amazing, huh?
Yep.
It's phenomenal. We had them immediately.
Oh yeah, it was.
While they were still down in D.C. and everywhere else talking about these things.
They were talking, we were delivering.
We were delivering. And then places like AIS, a number of businesses, local businesses in town.
Yep.
The dentist in town who were going to be closed and for a while realized that, gathered all of their PPEs.
So all their surgical masks.
Brought them all down to us.
Yeah.
And so we were able to keep our head above water and share them with everybody else, right, around us.
I think, and then we ended up being a distribution point for the for MEMA because you guys are so far ahead of everybody else, so we're going to use you. So we actually set them up in office one full day, wow. 2 full days actually.
Incredible, huh? Yeah. So the training, obviously our mission from the beginning was plan, don't panic, right? And so we implemented the plan. That was done in November, and for the most part, it looked like most of it was there, and we understood it. And there was always some things that are unknowns to the extent of it. And I think our first big meeting we had, school systems were starting to close for a week or so. We were trying to close for 2 days, knowing, my theory was, we need to get as much done as we can because we're not coming back. And some people are like, no, we'll be back in 2 weeks. I'm like, no. This, pack your stuff, right? Let's just get as many days in as we can safely. Yep. Because once they close this down and wrap it up, we're done for the season. But who can really tell? It's a lot of speculation and just understanding human behavior, right? I mean, we're all humans.
We get over 2,200 hours right now with volunteers. Already? That's
amazing. How incredible. And so I bet you didn't think that this is what you'd be doing after your retirement from your first vice presidency at Foster Tech.
Honestly, I think it's the business background that made this run so smoothly. I just run it like a business.
Right, I call it the transferable skills, right?
That's all it is.
Which is why Lee Iacocca became the head of, of Chrysler.
That guy was awesome.
He was the first he was the first person who came from outside of his industry. Because before, you had to have, 100 years in retail. 100, you had to have all experience. Nobody would hire you outside that. So you had to be in the hospitality business. But they wouldn't hire you in the food business. They wouldn't hire you in automotive. And then we realized all those skills are really transferable.
He was so forward thinking. He created the Mustang, and then he turned the Chrysler division around in a year.
Right.
And he turned all the money back to the government.
And came up with the K car.
That's what he did.
Which is a very affordable car.
Yeah.
And people, I wonder if, every once in a while, I see a K car flying around.
No real frames to them.
Right. All right. Well, people restore them. The Pinto, right? Like every once in a while, I see a Gremlin, or I see these cars. I'm like, what are these cars? I don't know. So you did how many years at Foster Grant?
Foster Grant, Foster Tech, 53 and a half years.
And you were at Foster Grant when they made sunglasses.
Oh, absolutely. Right? 1965,
And did you know our own Ace Armstrong during the Foster Grant days?
I knew of him.
Because Ace was a lead salesperson.
Yes, he was.
And he worked for the sub company. I laugh about this all the time. I say, we were actually selling, Foster Grant through Renault was selling sunglasses for how much? Like $200 or $100? I forget how much it was. But and now we're talking 50 years ago, right?
Yeah.
45, 50 years ago?
50 years ago.
And how much were those glasses?
This is like $2.
No, the Renault ones. Oh, the high end.
Oh, the high end ones. Oh, yeah. It was the same type of items, except the price was different.
Right. They just called it something different.
That's all.
And now we call it merchandise, right?
Yes,
so we give it a different name. It's like Renault. I remember the ads and stuff. So Ace used to work there and was salespeople. But I thought, and for anybody that might be new in town, you probably heard. So Foster Grant was this huge sunglass company. And
Largest in the world
in the
at one
world.
time.
And how many people worked there? Thousands worked there, right?
We in the sunglass division, we had about 2,500. In the
2,500.
plastics division, we had about 2,000.
Amazing. And they were in like Baton Rouge.
And we used to have Guy Barassi directing traffic.
Every day at 4 o'clock.
Yes.
And then I'm not sure if Mark Swain took over after that, but somebody else took over
yeah.
after. Or they used to alternate off. But a lot of people, imagine how many people worked there. Thousands, literally.
Thousands.
They couldn't let everybody out at the same time.
No.
Or there'd be a traffic jam, so they used to
There
hire a
was
police
traffic.
detail
That's
every
right.
day to let people in and then let people out.
Oh, yeah.
And did you know Joe Foster at all?
Oh, yes, I knew Joe
Yeah.
Foster. Yeah.
So he doesn't have any relatives here any longer, I don't think.
No.
And so is he just a regular guy? You never met him?
He was tough, but he was fair. And if you were in trouble, like he knew of a family member that needed medical, man, he was there. He was taking care of it. He just didn't want anybody to know that he was taking care of it.
Right.
That's all.
He didn't want to make a big deal out
No,
of it.
it wasn't a big deal.
And he was a household name around here.
Well, yeah.
Joe Foster.
Joe
Where you
Foster.
working? Foster's. Working with Joe Foster, right? I mean, that's just the way it
Yeah,
was.
they got the Foster wing at the hospital.
That's right. That's right. And imagine though what a presence they had here, and just like the Doyles, they no longer, the families aren't here anymore, and in many cases they didn't have a big family.
That's right. You
know?
get Doyle Field because of them.
Exactly. And so at the time in manufacturing, there was what did they call this area here? Was this the Doyle? So it's 18 buildings here as part of this project right here where.
This was originally Viscaloid.
The Viscaloid. So the 18 buildings. Imagine that. That were all part of the Doyle Works. I think that's what they used to call them. And that's where and then they sold off to DuPont. Yeah. But Bernie Doyle, who was also mayor in the city of Leominster, I think part of what Bernie's sort of thing is they developed a number of processes in the plastics business that were patents that they sold off or made money off of or whatever it might be. And so
I got an interesting one for you on this. My grandfather worked for Bernie Doyle.
For Viscaloid, yeah.
And he was running the third shift. And he was out producing everybody, and nobody could understand why. But what he had done...
He brought all his grandkids?
No,
to
what
work
he did
for free?
is he would come in with bags and bags of ice to cool down the product, and he had a fan running over it. By the time the morning came, the ice was all melted.
Right.
So Bernie called him, and he says, I don't know how you're doing it, but you're doubling your production over everybody else. And he told him what he was doing. That's when the refrigeration was just starting. And then my grandfather succeeded Doyle as the mayor of Leominster.
That's right. Oh, that's right.
Matthias Lapierre.
That's right.
Right.
That's amazing, huh?
Yeah.
And so he, so part of the plastic process is resin comes in. Now it comes in through silos, and you can hear the pellets sort of popping in, and it's sucked in through a vacuum. And then it would melt, and it would melt into the molds. The molds would form, and then it would break open, and then you would need a cooling period.
Right.
And in the cooling period, the biggest thing is how productive can you be? So you get as many shots can you get? So how many times can you mold a mold in a minute? So you get 3 shots a minute. So it runs it in. But the problem is cooling the plastic so you can let it fall out so it doesn't lose its.
I don't know how many people realize that the injection molding industry started in Leominster.
Exactly. Right.
Under Sam Foster. He brought that first molding machine in around 1900. It was a hand-operated machine, ended up in the plastics museum. He had this place on Lancaster Street called the Black Room, and only a few guys were allowed in there because what they did is they converted that hand-operating machine into a toggle hydraulic machine, built 100 molding machines. When World War II hit, we had 140 molding machines, more than anyone else in the United States.
Wow.
They turned over the production for the military to 90%.
Wow.
And then they were so good at it, they sold off the patents on the molding machines. They went in the sunglass business, and we were the biggest producer of plastic Gillette products.
That's amazing, huh?
Yeah.
Just incredible. What a great story. To think that at the time, it's kind of like what they're going through today, is they turn everything over and say, okay, stop making this. We've got to use your resources to make that. But at the time in World War II, everybody was
Whatever
making
it
something.
took.
You couldn't use steel. You couldn't. You had to recycle rubber.
Yep.
I mean, everybody had a part to play.
In fact, the problem that Foster, now we had all these molding machines, World War II hits, but he can't get plastic.
Right.
Because it's real rubber and real things like that.
Right.
So he created the styrene division out in the back, and it was called Foster's Folly because everybody said it wouldn't work. He developed, by far, the best white styrene ever produced. It was because he used nitrogen instead of air. That was one of the key things.
How do you figure that? He was just somebody was a scientist.
A lot of people weren't afraid to fail. And they would get up and they would keep going until they got it.
See, that's what I keep saying here in Leominster. We call this the Pioneer Plastic City, but
Yes.
it's really the city of ingenuity and innovators who are always trying to get a machine to move faster. If it did 10 pieces a minute, they wanted it to do 15. They were always trying to come up, tinkerers, always trying to come up with a new method.
That was
in every
Doyle.
industry, every single
All
industry.
of them were like that. Doyle Group was like that. People that I get to know. Foster Grant was that. All your plastic industries had drivers. Usually one or two guys that were the driving force.
The Earl Tuppers of the world, the tinkerers.
There's another one,
You know, the people
Tupper.
that just tinkered and tinkered and tinkered until it worked. They knew they could make it work.
Yeah.
And it's amazing some of the things that came out of the industry at the time, and it's still a busy place, and still making plastic and still producing and using high tech, but going back to like extrusion or rubber coating plastic wires.
Absolutely.
Again, that's not a very easy thing to do, or like what International Rectifier does, or a lot of these businesses who actually take parts and inject them into circuit boards or whatever it might be. We're talking high sophistication.
We got even in this city, we were responsible. We did 17 million pair of M40 gas mask lenses during that last Iraqi war.
That was at
and we did all the major programs, including night vision, laser protection, was done in Leominster.
And I'd like to think a lot of that came from all of those years of experience and people passing things on to the next group, and these guys that used to make molds, by hand, the Banner mold guys that would stand there and make molds. And I mean, all of these people, all of this talent was just
those skill sets are getting lost.
Yeah, of course.
And the trade schools are getting to be more important than ever before.
Yeah.
You need the tooling guys, the draftsmen. All
Well,
this stuff.
remember
It's
that
gotta
time
come back.
when we took all our molds and we bought them out of Portugal and Italy and other places, and they all get back in, they're like, it's 1/3 the cost. I'm like, sure it is. Well,
now start fixing them.
Yeah, immediately take it down to one of the tool and die shops, Leominster Tool and Die or Banner Mold at the time, because that thing needs to be fixed, and you'd probably do 1 million hits out of that thing, and it would need to be fixed. And so our lesson learned was nobody beats the skill of U.S. American mold makers.
I would put us up against anybody.
Yeah. All right, let's get back to work here.
Okay.
And so Jim, just follow along. I don't know where that Richard Voldemort went. If Rick calls, just patch him through. Emergency management number down at emergency management is 978-534-7500, extension 5055. And one thing I think that's come from this is people had time or they were retired. I would strongly suggest, if you're looking to give back, you're not sure exactly where, pay a visit to Jim. Jim will give you a tour of the facility. And most importantly, there is a place for everybody. There's so much talent in that place.
We got through your little advertisements here for us, we ended up with about close to 40 volunteers that joined, and we split that up among
and I saw
different
that.
groups.
I'm like, this is all great talent.
One of them was a Raytheon engineer that was in charge of their hazardous materials program. He joined. Another one was, he was very quiet. I see all these chemical names on his computer. He goes, "You must be a chemical engineer." Yeah, very shy. He's just answering phones. I says, "Where do you work?" It was like Biogen. I says, "What are you working on?" "Oh, COVID-19.
Yeah.
It was like it's no big deal.
Yeah, just pass the salt. No problem. Give me another packet of sugar.
Right.
Just remarkable. And we've got volunteer down there. I don't know, how many drones does he have?
Oh, at least 14 drones. He's got to have $25,000 worth of drones.
So you call it, we need a drone. Like, what size do you want, right?
And he's FAA certified.
Yeah, which few people are. So the talent there, and don't be afraid by it at all, because there's, it's a place where we can use your talents, and we know everybody's got talent. So give Jim a call and take a tour. He'll show you the whole place, tell you the history, and at the end, I guarantee you, everybody's friendly, so it's not as if you know, you feel uncomfortable, like you don't know anybody there. You'll think you know who most people are. And the number again at the emergency management is 978-534-7500, extension 5055. And we're waiting for Rick. You can call in anytime. I'm going to keep Jim here hostage, so if you're waiting for Jim to leave, don't. Just call in, because Jim's staying with me. And state assistance, again.
Rick's on.
Rick's on. Is that you, Rick?
Yes, sir, I'm here.
How are you?
Good.
At ease, please. So everyone's beginning to ask. It's Memorial Day Thursday, or Memorial Weekend Thursday, so everyone's beginning to engage and ask exactly what is happening for Memorial Day, since all the restrictions haven't been lifted, and there's still a limit to outdoor or activities and the number of people that can attend. So you want to give us a rundown on what's happening, so people will know that we're still paying our respects, representing the community in paying our respects to all of those veterans that have gone before us?
Yep, absolutely. So we started by flagging all the cemeteries. We had an excellent turnout of volunteers. We're grateful for all our volunteers. And we flagged our 3 cemeteries. So we finished that up today. So if anybody was planning on flagging tomorrow, that's not necessary, because we finished it today. And then Monday, on Memorial Day, we're going to go and lay a wreath at all of our war memorials or cemeteries. So we're going to start at 8 o'clock. We're going to do a prayer, a wreath laying, a rifle salute, bring the flags to half-mast, and then we're going to do that at the Common for 8 o'clock, St. Leo's, 8:15, St. Cecilia's, 8:30, the Johnny Rowe Park, 8:45, the Grand Army of the Republic burial area at Evergreen Cemetery at 9:05, and then we'll finish up at Monument Circle there at Carter Park at 9:20. Those are all rough estimated times, of course, because, we're going to be traveling. And we have to do it social distancing, so we're asking the public, if they do go, to stay in their car, don't get out. We have to stay under 10 people. So we want to, do it safely, but we certainly want to honor our veterans.
It's sad. I talked to a number of veterans, agents, those counterparts this week and last week, and they were disappointed that the town felt it best to sort of cancel the events completely. But after our conversations, we've been talking for some time now about the fact that we could safely put it on, and that the tradition of every grave being flagged and visiting every cemetery where those that have gone before us are buried here in Leominster. So every cemetery where any veteran is buried will be visited to. So the tradition continues. It's just we can't do it in the way that we used to. And probably of more concern is the number of people who used to show up for all these events. Everywhere we went, there was a lot of people. So all in all,
they're big civic, they're community events. We have our Boy Scouts, our band, the high school kids, the football players, fire and police. Everybody plays a role, and so it is a little different this year. But
Sure.
We're still trying to make it happen, and we want to do it safely. We don't want we don't want to get anybody infected, do anything wrong. So, and today we taped our White Cross ceremony.
yes. So will they be able to see that tomorrow night?
Well, I hope to see it. When you're there, talk to Carl and ask
Okay.
Carl if we'll play it tomorrow at 6.
So normally we do the White Cross ceremony at 6, and it'd be nice if we could, sort of, I guess, insert it in at 6 o'clock, just as if we were going to do it, right? There's a big thumbs up over there? Yes, I see thumbs up. So, yes, so the only thing that will be different about it is there won't be an audience, but the audience will be able to watch it at home or on their phone or any electronic device, so that, we still carry the tradition as we always do, and every veteran gets a visit and recognized, and we can continue on our tradition to making sure no veteran is forgotten.
By the way, Rick, that car is awesome.
Yeah, that car's awesome. We love it.
Yeah, we had a sign, out of Leominster on Pond Street to do it. We had a donation from Tufts Medicare Preferred Healthcare for a nice donation, so we got it done very cheaply, and it's exactly what we wanted to represent. We wanted to represent Leominster, and I think they did such a magnificent job.
Yeah,
Mayor, this is what you had in mind, 2 cars ago.
Yes. My problem is I always know what I want. It's in my brain. I have a picture of it until somebody. So I'm not the artist. I can't always articulate it. I can always get it down on paper and get a printout of it. If you could just go through my brain and hit print, we'll be all set.
We're good.
So you're right. It took a little while, but that's exactly what.
That's awesome.
When I saw it, I said, "No, this is exactly."
Yes.
Right?
Oh,
This
yeah.
is the cherry on the top.
Yeah.
Well, thank you to you and your staff and all of the volunteers. Maybe people that couldn't come to participate in our Memorial Day exercises, maybe this was their way of paying respects in their own little way. And so to you and your staff and volunteers and all of the veterans group who continue to be very active here in the city. I always say we have the most active retired veterans. These guys are in their 90s. They're still pushing out 6-8 hour days.
Hey, listen, Larry McNeil strewing the flowers, the White Cross ceremony, 50 years today.
Unbelievable. So at White Cross, we have this.
That sounds like Larry.
Yeah, so you'll see it on TV, but we have this part of the ceremony where Larry, in full uniform, retired, goes down to the Rockwell Pond and tosses flowers into the pond, which symbolically end up in the river and from the river into the ocean and then into the ocean seas of those that never came back from war. Right. Sort of very symbolic. So the people that have never been that finally, that go, they're like, wow, that was really cool. That was really neat. I never knew that. And I got goosebumps. And so Larry's been doing it for 50 years.
Yeah.
50 years, Larry McNeil. Amazing.
Another guy that's awesome is Jim Lanciani.
Jim, yeah.
Oh,
Jim,
he just keeps going
Mr.
on.
Auberge.
He keeps going on forever. Another one.
All of them. These guys, I keep thinking they're in their 60s, and then I just remember, wait a minute.
So upset.
Yeah, what am I talking about? Because I've known these guys almost my whole life, and I keep thinking they're 60, maybe 70 years old. These guys are hitting 80s, pushing on 90.
I can't believe I'm 74.
That's what I'm saying. When did this happen? All right, Rick. Thank you. Keep up the good work.
All right.
We'll see you bright and early on Monday, and rain or shine.
Rain or shine, yeah.
I was saying, Rick, we got in trouble one year because we didn't march in the rain, and we had like lightning and hail, and so we said, well, maybe let's just go to City Hall and we'll do it all indoors. Yeah. And all the veterans are like, you know what we've been through? You have any clue? What? Well, we're like, yeah, but we're just worried. We don't want anybody to get hurt or struck by lightning. And like, no. So after that, we're like, rain or shine, this baby goes on. Right, Rick?
Yeah.
No matter what. All right, Rick.
All right.
Take care.
Thank you.
All right. Be well. Keep up the good work. We're lucky to have Rick.
He does it, yeah.
We've had the best veterans. Everyone keeps saying, going to be tough to fill that person's shoes, right? Oh, yeah. Victor Ledger, right? Jim Lanciani, all the way back.
All of them.
And we just keep getting these Richard Early, and then Rick Votan. We keep saying, well, we'll never be able to replace this person. And we always get somebody that ends up being,
and somehow we keep grooming a lot of good people. I can see
that's what I'm telling you.
I just talk about how many good people from City Hall come down to volunteer on their off time.
Well,
they
everybody
go from
asking.
Working during the day, and they come down and they work the next shift.
When we had the winter the warming center, would stay there all night, and they'd come to work in the morning.
Yeah, they would.
And even in this other experience that we had needed people to answer phones, left work at 4 o'clock, and then came down to City Hall. Okay, let me give you a few slides here. Is that Crystal on the phone? All right, can we call her back? Just because we only got 5 or 10 minutes. Okay, let me get through this real quick. Otherwise, Jim, we're going to be in trouble. There we go. I don't know if I could do slides. There you go. Big question today was, what about these loans and grants? Go to our website, leominster-ma.gov. Let's see, Catholic Charities will be around tomorrow from 8:30 to 4:30. Give them a buzz at 978-840-0696. Ginny's Food Pantry, again, in partnership with Emergency Management, the City of Leominster. delivers food to the elderly, those that are shut in and can't get out. They're open tomorrow and then Saturday from 10 to 1. And their phone number is 71387. I'm not even going to put the 53 in there, right? the 71387. And there's the numbers as of Wednesday. We'll continue on. Similar sized communities, so we're right about in the middle there. And we're not much different than 486 or some of the others. So there's 2 to 3, 3 to 4, 5 to 6, 7 to 8, and then after 8, that's a different story. Still the same thing, right? Stay-at-home advisory, reopening plan, which we keep speaking to, and the phones are starting to ring. We've been talking about this for a month and a half. Businesses, get ready. Don't wait, right? Mm-hmm. Don't wait for the last minute. Get ready, because you don't want to be trying to get ready the day before.
We
right?
get calls on this every day now.
Yes, so this is important. So give us a call at City Hall. Get your plan together. We'll work with you. Mm-hmm. With that plan, talk to a number of restaurants just today. And no matter what business you're in, no matter what phase you're in, it's 6 feet distance or wear your mask, sanitize, all of that. State of Massachusetts at mass.gov has a whole, I guess they're calling it a dashboard, and they tell you the green light, the red light, tells you what's going to move forward because based on data, and there's your data, and that's all on the state's website. Reopening plan is going to really be driven by the basic things that we've talked about. They're going to monitor those averages of those in the hospital, those tested positive, those in surge capacity at ICU, and then also deaths. What can open? I know a number of churches are ready. It's supposed to be nice weather on Sunday, mm-hmm. and some churches worship Saturday and Sunday, but both days are supposed to be good. Yep. So they are getting ready. They're getting masks. They're getting sanitizers. They're doing exactly what they're supposed to, and they're going to space out, mm-hmm. right? And what can open, there's a list, but we also have a list on our website, leominster-ma.gov. If you're a business, you're not sure, give us a call, or best, go to the state's website, mass.gov. They did a really good job of making sure that you could figure out what businesses are open and to what extent. Let's see. These are all the different phases. Construction protocol, it's all the same. Everybody, no matter what it is, hairdressers, hair salons, and everything, they're going to open. Guess who got an appointment like right away? I did.
You did?
I do something. I don't know. Just give me a little skippity-doo, skip the top and do the sides, something. Just, right? So I immediately made the first appointment for the first day that they opened. I'm like, please. This is like 2 months ago.
This is priority.
When I left the chair, I said, you guys are going to end up closed. It won't be long. So can you, right now, go to the first appointment, whatever it is, and just put my name in there. So anyway, CDC has opening plans for everything, and the city's working on getting reimbursements from the federal government. We could get up to, where's the up to? The up to, I don't see it there, but we'll continue to go by. If you're looking for that loan, that's that loan from the city. We have $272,000. We'd like you to fill out the application if you have any trouble at all. You can get this on our website. It's right there where the arrow is. Go to our website, leominster-ma.gov. When you get there, I believe you just go where that little arrow is, click on, get the application, print it out, fill as much of it as you can, and then call us if you get stuck, and we will walk you through it, okay? So there it is, $272,000 that we have available. We're going to qualify as many people as we can. There's 2 areas to qualify. Don't get caught up in the minutia. Fill it out. Get it over to us. If you miss a few things, we'll help you with it, okay? You have to be in business a year. You have to be a Leominster business. Have to be affected by the COVID-19, which is everybody, right? We'll get you through it, all right? It's really not good. It's $2,500. $2,500 right now is worth like 10. Right, to keep your business open for another 2 weeks. And right about this time, even with the stimulus money, people are like just barely hanging in there with their business. I can tell you firsthand, we're not applying for any government money or loans or grants, but it is very difficult, and it's tough, especially when it's supposed to be a busy season.
Oh, yeah,
right? It's like telling people that sell Christmas trees, you can't sell Christmas trees in December. So there's also a state opportunity for grants. That's the state treasurer's office. And look for that on our website at leominster-ma.gov. There's our indicators right there as of May 20th. And as you see, this is the dashboard that the state is watching. The numbers are going down. That's positive. So negative is a positive. We drop. That's a positive. There are the daily and cumulative confirmed cases. That little line right there is how many tests we're giving. I'm sorry, the total amount of people who have tested positive in the state. And then you see the other line underneath it, and that is our those that are tested. So there you go. Each day, the numbers are dropping. There's a number of tests performed, date the patient tested positive, and you see some up and downs all the way across. I mean, it hit us in March, and then it dropped for a few days, and then back up. Obviously, the state's looking for more on the way of negatives. So that map is starting to lighten up. We're starting to get little shades of light blue and middle blue there, Leominster blue, I call it.
Yeah,
That's a good thing, because a lot of that was the dark color, blue. So
that's
some
match my new car.
Yeah, I love it. I love the colors on it. Hospitalization rate right now, it's gone down slightly to 2,518 people are actually in the hospital right now. Let's go back, because there's the count on cases currently in ICU across the state. There's the deaths confirmed, over 6,000 now. Average age is in COVID-19 of those cases is 53. And as I go back to that slide, you can see everybody's getting it. Who tests positive. There we are, the average age of hospitalization. Still, everyone gets it. Some people end up in the hospital, but it's really the elderly that get it. And look here, on the left-hand side, yes, there's the cases, but there are the deaths. And clearly, that 70 to 80 is so much smaller. But boy, once you hit 80, the risks associated are extremely high. Deaths by sex, previous hospitalization, underlying conditions. Underlying conditions, obviously 98%, 55, 56% on those with a previous hospitalization, and male and female are pretty much the same. Cases by race and ethnicity is something I keep saying we've got to look at. We've tried to even get those masks out into low-income areas of the city. We try to hit the ethnic communities, really trying to penetrate those areas so that we get everyone. Because sometimes in the ethnic sort of population, the ethnic community, they might not always, there might be a language barrier, and so they rely a lot on hearsay, sort of street.
We did real good penetration in that area.
Very much, because emergency management is actually in Ward 2.
Yeah.
It's actually in a low to moderate income neighborhood. And so you guys did an absolute great job.
And they spread their word amongst themselves.
Yes, and so what we try to do is get those involved in the community, and they use various applications to communicate, and different websites and everything. And so we get the correct information to them. They spread the correct information.
Worked.
Testing sites this weekend. I'm sure they'll be still set up 10 to 2 at Health Alliance, 8 to 4, doing about 60 to 70 tests a day. Do have to have symptoms or have been in contact with somebody who tested positive with symptoms. If you're going to Reliant, then again, you call Reliant. They'll put somebody on the phone with you. They'll ask you a series of questions, and you go from there. Graduation will be August 1st. There is an event coming up tomorrow at high school. There are a bunch of parents put some things together, and it'll end up at the high school. Leominster taxes are due June 1st. We waited a month, and then all other bills like water bills and everything are due at the end of June. Don't forget Comcast Essentials program, 1-855-846-8376 will give you 2 months free internet access, and then $9.95 plus tax after that. Stimulus checks are still coming out. Don't forget to spruce up those veterans' graves, even if it's not a loved one. If you see somebody near yours, by all means, a little extra time, right? A little bit of time, spruce up their site. Only a week left to pick up those leaves. I don't have anybody yelling after. This has been going on since February, so get those leaves picked up. Send a picture to us if you have a whole ton of them. You might win a lot of prizes. Leominster-ma.gov. You'll find my email address there. The Leominster Sidewalk Sale, June 26th and 27th. Remember those old days, the old-fashioned bargain days?
Yes, I do.
I used to save all my money and get downtown and buy all the great deals. This is going to be citywide, Jim. Citywide.
Be like in the old days.
Yeah, this is going to be cool. I can't wait. 26th, 27th.
You're going back to the 60s.
Absolutely. Do I have any pictures of the week? I'll do them real quick if we have them. No? Yes, I'm clicking. Nothing's happening? Too late? I'm trying. There we go. Hydro City. Look at the park. If you haven't seen the park on Mechanic Street, absolutely beautiful. Now they put the pavement in. We got a walking track, some playground equipment down there. There's the new building coming along very nicely. Looks great, right? new building coming along, brand new building. Guess where that is?
I know where it is.
Leominster Access TV.
Sure.
Work continues on Merriam Ave. Replacing, we've done the water lines, the sewer lines. We've done roads in tough shape, but got to get this done. Now the gas company's out there. There we are. Look at it. Thanks to EMA, Emergency Management, our great volunteers out there every day. And they'll be out there tomorrow from 8 to 5. And then today we took the road. We took the show on the road. And all week we were at Buzz and Thrive. And geez, we've been at Texas Roadhouse. And we were all over the place. And if your business would like to be highlighted, let us know. There's our undisclosed location right there. Look at beautiful shoreline farm. That's my picture, I think.
Really?
I probably never took a picture that nice. Anyway, we are out of time. Thank you, Jim. You do a great job. We are happy to have you. Lifelong resident. You come with all of this talent. Thank you, thank you. And to everybody back there in the control room, thank you. Thank you to you for watching us every week and every day. It's helpful. We get the information out to you, and you circulate it to all your friends, and we get the right information out. Thank you to everybody, all those essential workers. Good night. God bless you. Remember, the world is run by those who show up. You got to show up. Good night.